welcome to the Blue Jays.
Thank you.
Did you have an inkling, Matt, given what Oakland was doing, that you would be traded at some point in the spring?
Yeah, I kind of felt, based off of, seeing Bassett go and then Olson, that, when you hear, I heard my name was being shopped around before too. So I think, there was always that possibility, but I guess until it really happens, you're just, not too sure.
So mentally, how do you approach spring when you were with Oakland, knowing that you could at any time pick up and leave?
Right. It was definitely a challenge, seeing, two of my close teammates go that, I had been through a lot with together. So for me, I told myself, this is a big year regardless of, what team I'm on, and I'm just going to control what I can control and focus on, getting myself prepared. It's a short spring training. I'm excited to be healthy, so I want to take full advantage of feeling good and just get myself prepared to play season because no matter where I'm playing, I knew opening day was going to be, April 8th.
Matt, how bizarre is it to essentially have the kind of winter meetings type of transactions happening during the first week of spring training?
It is crazy. It's been a weird off season for baseball. A weird couple years for the world, I would say. So I think we're all used to different situations now. But after the lockout, I knew things would happen fast. I'm sure teams were kind of preparing themselves for this moment. So I packed light, knowing that, anything could happen. And, me and my wife prepared as good as we could to, be shipped out or whatever it was. So just, extremely excited for this new opportunity. And, when you sign up for baseball, anything can happen.
And when you heard Blue Jays, how did you wrap your mind around that? What did you think of this group? What was your sense of the possibilities here?
I was excited. And an end in Oakland and then a new beginning in Toronto. I've always enjoyed coming here on the road. I've always thought it was a really fun ballpark to play at. The city's been amazing. The fans are passionate. And obviously this team is special. This team has a lot of great talent on it, and I'm just so happy to be a part of it and be able to come in and help this team, compete for a World Series.
Baseball players follow baseball players. So from afar, what were your impressions of this team maybe last year as you saw some of the things that were going on?
Yeah. First off, I feel like their pitching staff was, maybe didn't even get as much credit as they deserve. Their pitching staff is, top to bottom, really good, and just how good the young players are and the young hitters. You know, being so young and being able to handle any kind of pitching in any moment, it seems like those guys were ready to hit, and I'm just excited to pick their brains and see what makes them so successful.
How does it feel to go to an organization where the intent is so clear? This is what they're doing. This is why.
It feels great, and at the end there in Oakland, it was, a lot of guys were trying to, starting to question, what kind of direction it was going. But coming here, the direction is clear. It's want to win a World Series and do whatever they can to make that happen. So it just feels great to come to an organization where they're excited to win and help the players, get whatever they need to be successful.
And they already won 91 games last year with Kevin coming aboard, yourself. I mean, does it feel like you guys could certainly push it over the top this year?
Absolutely. And I've only been here, a few hours, but that's what the vibe feels like in the locker room. And I can tell how these guys talk to one another. They seem like they all really care about each other, and it seems like it's a tight-knit group, and it seems like it's easy to jump on board.
Have you spoken to Marcus at all? And if not recently, when he was here, I'm sure you guys spoke when you played against each other. What were his thoughts about playing?
He loved it. Talking to him last year a lot, he was telling me how much he enjoyed being here and, all the facilities and things that he got to use here and in Toronto. He said it was, off the charts, but also he called me and kind of gave me the rundown on everything and what to expect. And, obviously playing in Canada, there's some differences than playing in, the States. So I think he gave me about as much of an update on things as he could. And he just told me that I'm going to love it and I'm going to love the guys. And, I can tell that he's already right.
Oakland goes through these cycles where they're competitive and they have to tear down for various reasons. What do you think of this current cycle where you guys were in the playoffs a few years ago and then now this?
I think until they get a new stadium, that's kind of how it's going to be over there. And I think when you get there, it's one of those things happens. and I came in on the cycle where I was one of the young players, and then we became successful and made it to some playoffs and had success there, and then I guess you don't really think about it until it happens. So it kind of all happened really fast too, because the lockout, I guess, too. So you hear it, but then it all happened within a matter of a few days for all of us. So one of those things that maybe it just happened so fast it hasn't even hit some people yet, but it's just kind of the way it goes over there sometimes, and it's unfortunate for some of the fans, but it's part of the business. Baseball, at the end of the day, is a business, and for me to get a new opportunity here, that excites me, and I'm just really excited to be a part of this organization and help them win.
What do you think of the infield, the new infield you're a part of? Is it, I guess, the best in baseball? And then what do you think of the specific players, I guess, even across the diamond, like Vladdy?
Yeah, I think this infield is amazing. We have so many talented players offensively and defensively in this infield. I'll leave the best in baseball to you guys, but I think I think it's worth putting us in that conversation, and I think that once we get to play with each other and get to know each other a little bit better, who knows what's possible. A lot of things can happen over 162 games, and I feel like it's one of those situations where every day we're going to get more comfortable playing with each other, more comfortable, used to where to play, where to position, things like that. So I'm just super excited to be a part of it.
Matt, have you spoken with Olsen and Bassett?
Yeah, I've spoken to both of them. I think all of us, our heads are spinning a little bit, coming into a new situation, because for me and Olsen, Oakland was, the only organization we'd been with. So, coming to this complex, it's like a maze, trying to find my way around this place. But, no, both of them are very happy in their situations. Obviously, Olsen, goes long-term with the Braves. He's from Atlanta. So it's pretty cool for him to go to his hometown team like that. I know it's a dream come true for him and his whole family, so he deserves it. He's had an incredible career and really incredible last season, and I feel like he's just continuing to get better. So super excited for him, super excited for Bassett. I think it's cool for all of us. Sometimes in Oakland, you fly under the radar a little bit. Not everybody gets to see what guys do. So I think for all of us to go out to the East Coast and be able to show our stuff is exciting.
Matt, how do you what do you like to do to build a relationship with your shortstop beside you?
So for me, I want to get to know Bo. I want to get to know, what his strengths are, defensively, and where he likes to play. And, for me, being able to, cover a lot of ground over there at third, I just want to help him out. Hopefully he doesn't have to take too many backhand plays, and I can just help him out there. But, I want to help him out as much as I can, and just get to know, our communication. I'm sure as we play together, we'll learn, where we want to play, what pitches come and how we want to do it. So that stuff comes with time, but it seems like it's going to be easy for us to get to know each other for sure.
Just dumb question logistically. Monday they called you? I forget what dates are. They called you with the news of the trade. You're in Arizona for a week. You pack up as quick as possible. You fly yesterday.
Is today Friday?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I found out. Yeah, all day. I think I found out Wednesday, and then Wednesday happened in a flash, and I packed everything and then traveled all day yesterday. Came here, got my stuff settled in, met some of the staff, and then came here today.
Santiago Espinal said you were here at 5 a.m. Is that true?
That's a little bit of a stretch. I was here at like 6 a.m. But
Okay. You said you were here at 5.
I was like 5:55 or something like that, but which is like 2:55 in Arizona, I think. But I knew I was going to have a busy day today. I wanted to make sure I could meet all my teammates. I'm now part of the breakfast club, and jump in the hot tub. Wake myself up a little bit, but. I know I'll get adjusted here quickly, and I couldn't sleep either. It felt like my first day of school.
Matt, you mentioned Vladdy and Bo. They're coming off their first full season in the big leagues. From your experience, what does having that under your belt mean for your second full season?
Yeah, for them coming, having their first full season and then having the kind of success that they had, and then the way that they carry themselves and the way that they still seem like they're hungry, they still seem like they're ready to learn and ready to work. I feel like the sky's the limit for those guys. And for me personally, they had that kind of success. I think that gives them the confidence to know that, they don't have to do anything different to be successful. They just have to continue to build on what they do. They know what it takes to be successful at this level, and the maturity that they have in the batter's box already at that young age, it's just dangerous. And I feel like with more and more reps, and they're just going to be better and better, and hopefully I can help them out and learn from them.
Matt, this lineup is pretty right-handed heavy, but it's got a ton of upside. What do you think it's capable of?
I know it's right-handed heavy, but I'm pretty sure all those righties can hit any kind of pitching. Those guys, it was pretty impressive to see what they did from afar last year. So, they are right-handed heavy, but I think that it's still a balanced lineup that can really hit the baseball. And I think it's just a deep lineup that is capable of, wearing down starting pitching and able to get into the bullpen and take long at-bats. And, if one guy doesn't get the job done, the next guy can come to the plate and take another good at-bat. So it seems like a lineup that there's not too much pressure on one specific guy because it's a deep lineup and everybody just kind of does their part, and, you're going to look up and see a lot of success.
For you offensively, what do you think you need to do to get back to where you were a couple years ago?
For sure. Last year was a tough year for me. I coming off that hip surgery in 2020, I think for me, I just wasn't quite as strong as I wanted to be. And there's never enough time to get ready for a season, when you're rehabbing like that after a shortened off season with my hip. So for me, I just, I learned, a lot from last season and learned that, what will make me successful and what adjustments I needed to make. And I think I made those adjustments for sure. I got strong again, first things first. I learned how to get back into using my back hip and stay behind the baseball again. And I feel a lot like I did in 2018 and 19, physically healthy. And, now I can take, that experience that I had last year and, know how to get that stuff stopped when I see it happening and, take those adjustments and take it to the next level.
Now, when did you feel that strength coming back? Was it this offseason?
Yeah. Yeah, because last year, I right when season started, I was really only about 5.5 months out of surgery, and I didn't really get to spend time lifting weights and training and conditioning the way I usually do. So I think that I just never got to catch up. In this off season, I took some time off, I let it rest, but then, I started, squatting and lifting again and getting my legs really strong and running again and getting fast. So I think that getting that strength already gave me a better base in the batter's box and gave me that confidence that, okay, I'm strong now. I don't need to try to create power or try to, go get the baseball. I can let it come to me and I'm strong enough. So I think that from a mental standpoint helped me, but then also physically I'm just moving better than I was a year ago.
It must have been difficult last year not being able to play like you normally play.
It was for sure. It was, obviously I learned a lot last year. You could always look back and wish you did things differently, but I'm happy that I handled it, and got through it. I learned from it, and I think it'll make me a better player for it.
Were you limited defensively at all?
Defensively, I think it was a little bit easier because you don't have to, in the batter's box, it's like one move where you have to hold in your hip and, swing. Whereas defensively, I could kind of use my momentum and my feet and athletically still make the play. But I still think that, I wasn't back to 100% of like the defensive player that I can be. So I think that it was easier to do defense, but I think this year you're going to see a more athletic, well-rounded version of myself.
Matt, is it a little easier, I don't know if easier is the right word, but mentally on you not having to be a focal point of an offense? And you've got all these guys, you don't have to worry about hitting third or fourth?
For sure. I mean, that's not something that I want to shy away from, because I still think that, I'm, just because I'm not hitting maybe third or fourth doesn't mean that, I don't think that I'm capable of doing that. But it is nice to know that, not all the pressure is on, me or Olsen or somebody like that. Not that, obviously our A's team had great players, but I'm just using that as an example that it's like, we have such a deep lineup that, I can just jump in and do my part, just take good at-bats, and I still expect a lot out of myself. I still have high expectations. I still know that I'm capable of, doing a lot of good things. But it's nice to know that, there's plenty of guys that can carry their weight in this lineup for sure.
Defensively, are there things you can do differently here with not as much ground to cover as you had in Oakland?
Yeah, I think it'll take some getting used to play, playing on the turf, but it's something that, I have played there maybe 5 or 6 times in my career, so I do have a good idea They still have a decent amount of foul territory, I think. Obviously, nothing compares to Oakland, right? Because I do like going and getting those foul balls. But for me, not too much changes depending on the field. I mean, it more so depends on like the hitter and the situation, because that'll depend on my depth and kind of where I'm shading and playing. But for me, being able to learn how to play this turf, playing in the AL East, learning these hitters a little bit better, because I've been in the same division for so long, and you only come out East only a couple times. So just learning the little things about other guys, and it'll just give me that edge to, help me become the best defender for this team. And I did see how many ground balls this team gets to third base, so that definitely excites me. That's something I take pride in, is saving runs for the team, and I really want to help these pitchers out. Getting the pitchers, like you when you make good plays for them.
Matt, what do you remember from that August series last year with when Simeon kept that comeback with the walk-off home run and the Jays went on to that sweep?
I was going to say, I think I remember getting swept, but we've had some hard series in that stadium before. I think we had either swept the Blue Jays or gotten swept, so a lot of emotional games in that place. But I just remember how great the fans were, even though it wasn't full capacity last year. But I remember how loud that place was, and so I can only imagine how loud it's going to be now that it's going to be completely sold out. So that I think that I'm just so excited to be able to play there and play there as a home player. And I just remember, how good, these guys are, and watching them hit, and just like, wow, man, these guys take great at-bats. They're tough outs, all of them. Their pitching staff was really great. So it was fun to play against them, but I think it's going to be even more fun to play with them.